Hey, it's Benjamin Verbicek and David McHale, pastors here at Community Evangelical Free Church. I'd rather not be making this video, to be honest, but I'm at a place where I'm excited for what's changing. But that's what I want to tell you about. So, David has been a pastor at the church almost 5 years and 4.5, and he's going to transition to another role. Not at a church, but at a ministry he was a part of when we hired him. And so David will tell you more about that in a minute. But I wanted to just get in front of a video. We wanted to get in front of a video to tell you about that, what's happening, a little bit about why it's happening, and implying why it's not happening. It's not because we hate each other or David hates his church, even though there's a sadness about this transition. It's about calling and who God has made David and Jamie to be, his wife, and the ministry they're going to do. So what's happening? Why is it happening? And then what are we going to do? So what is it happening? David's going to transition. And why is it happening? I want David to answer that. But just in short, I think part of what we've all loved about David, and what I love personally as a friend and another pastor, is his heart for the broken. And so the ministry he would be a part of and was a part of when we first hired him 5 years ago has an opportunity for him to go back. And in short, it's like a small part of what he gets to do here and he thrives at, he'll get to do just full scale there. And so do you want to say a bit about that?
Yeah. So many of you do know, and we've talked a little bit about His Mansion Ministries. Jamie and I got to serve there for about 8 years before we came here in 2020. And we have just loved our time here at Community. This is our church family, our church home. And in some ways that will never change. Over the last few months, as I've been finishing up seminary and focusing in on counseling ministries in those studies, it's become more and more apparent that my gifts and passions and skill set is more localized in that arena of care and spiritual formation. And so over the last few months, there was a need for leadership at His Mansion that became apparent to me. And so Jamie and I started a process of prayer and discernment, a difficult process, but a meaningful one, and really sought the Lord and sought wise counsel in that process. And as we did that, it was apparent that God has just laid on our hearts His love for the broken. And we want to be aligned with that. And obviously we can do that in the local church here at Community, and yet we do sense a calling up to His Mansion Ministries. So His Mansion Ministries is a Christ-centered communal ministry devoted to welcoming in and caring for men and women dealing with all sorts of life-controlling issues, really living in bondage to addiction or emotional upheaval, or just different sorts of mental suffering and things like that. And so at His Mansion, I will function as the director of care and formation. I will oversee the counseling and classes, curriculum, and the daily rhythms of worship and work there, as well as working alongside of the executive director to see the ministry move forward. So we're really grieved to be starting a journey of departure from Community, and yet we're also excited about what God has for us in the future.
Yeah. So, I'll take it back over just for a minute. I bet there are different reactions here on the other side of the camera as you watch this video on the TV screen or phone or whatever your computer screen. I've known for a bit, appropriately, as David has brought me into that, and other leaders, and prayed for him and rooting for him. But I think sadness and disappointment, but I want you to know the pervading kind of emotion for me is excitement to see them thrive and to do what the Lord has equipped and called them to do in a bigger and more prominent way among people who will really, really be helped by that. So I'm not saying we want everybody to watch this and see it and know before Sunday. We're going to talk about it. The pastoral prayer slot. We're going to pray for David and hear a bit more. But we just want to tell you now. And I'm not saying between, as you watch this and Sunday morning, be happy. That you might be sad. David and Jamie have sadness. But I would love us to be in a place where we could view it not as David just leaving, but us sending him out to do important work, really missions work among people who could receive his care and gospel ministry. So that's my heart for this. What are we going to do as a church? I don't know yet. I don't know. We have a lot of ideas of ways to fill the role, but David's been doing connections and worship and in-house and hiring. We're having all those conversations. And so in about a month, we would hope to be able to give you some ideas. But what we're doing now and what we'd ask you to do is just pray and think. And if you have ideas, share them. We'd be happy to listen to them. But what I'm doing now is talking to a lot of people and praying and thinking. So anything else you'd want to say?
No.
Okay.
We'll see you on Sunday.
Yeah. We'll see you on Sunday.